This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello. Welcome to the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. We waited all night for that. All night. And it just went to show that even if you gave the Phillies a runner in scoring position, they would have just an incredible difficulty trying to bring anybody home that was in scoring position. It proved true in extras. It proved true throughout the game. And you even had a manager try to beep-bop, push a couple of buttons. And I'll tell you this much. We even said on the postcast yesterday, Alec Boehm not really hitting like a cleanup hitter, right? So what does Rob Thompson do? He actually tinkers, and I am in favor of him tinkering away at this point because Alec Boehm has just, as I said yesterday, looks lost at the plate. Alec Boehm continued to look lost at the plate. Problem, though, the guy that you promoted while you demoted Alec Boehm went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, and every single strikeout that he had was a slider on the outside corner that was either maybe on the outside corner a strike, depending on whatever the strike zone was tonight. No clue what the strike zone was tonight. Or it was a mile outside, and Nick Castellanos is still doing the there's a couple of patented moves by Phillies right-handed hitters that I just have burned on my brain. One is the Pat Burrell shuffle. If you remember the Pat Burrell shuffle, do the shuffle. Pat Burrell would do that. We used to sing that back in the day. Anyway, so Pat Burrell would back up on a fastball right down the middle of the plate. He would jet his butt out, right? Do a little shuffle that way. Nick Castellanos, the lunge. I don't know what you call it, the flail. He had that down today. So as Alec Boehm is getting demoted and still not playing well, still not hitting well, was terrible again today, Nick Castellanos gets promoted and was awful. His worst game I can remember. 0 for 5 with 5 Ks, not exactly what you want from your cleanup hitter either. I was getting ready tonight to praise the bullpen, or this morning, I should say. I was getting ready to praise the bullpen. I was looking at these guys, and I was like, right before that bottom of the 11th inning, I was like, hey, the bullpen's been great. Carlos Hernandez goes out there. He looks dominant. Jordan Romano, you know what he did? Jordan Romano, he shaved the beard, kept the stash. I guess Deborah liked the stash. Anyway, he goes out there. He actually looks pretty good tonight. Matt Strahm goes out there, does his job to the tune of 2 strikeouts. Tanner Banks in crunch time in the 10th inning gets out of a jam. And then Joe Ross is like, hey, good try, you guys. Good try, you guys. I'm not even going to record an out. In fact, I'm just going to give up 2 extra base hits, as a matter of fact, including a long ball walk-off home run to Marcell Ozuna. Not when I saw that it was Joe Ross going in there, I was like, but Austin Riley's coming. Oh, darn it. Austin Riley, who obviously took him deep last night. I was getting ready to praise the Phillies bullpen. And you know what? For names that we haven't really, don't get me wrong, they haven't deserved praise by any means. But Hernandez, is good to see him back out there. Jordan Romano, hey, good to see him have some good stuff tonight. Matt Strahm, good job by you. Tanner Banks, again, getting away out of the jam. I feel good about those guys. Joe Ross, not so much. This was a very, very frustrating game tonight. And I did go back and looked at a couple of situations here that I saw the Phillies had opportunities to make something happen. 3rd inning, Phillies are down 1-0 at this point. You get a run just barely squeaking across the plate there in the 1st inning, courtesy of a ground ball to second base. The Braves get the first run of the ball game in the 1st inning on Jesus Luzardo, who wasn't great tonight, but still 6 innings, 1 run, 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, I believe it ended up being. Wait, why don't I just flash this up there again? Yeah, 6 strikeouts, 6 hits is a lot, 1 walk, 1 earned run, bottom line. So he got out of jams as well, and he also steadied his pitch count. I think he was at, where did I have him? 61 pitches at the start of the 4th inning. And for him to finish at 98 pitches is actually pretty damn good, considering the first 4 innings he used 61 pitches. So after that, you wanted to see the offense get going a little bit. 3rd inning, Bryson Stott leads off with a single. Brandon Marsh then promptly grounds into a double play. Brandon Marsh continuing to not be good at hitting baseballs. Maybe he should. I think it was Joe on my man, formerly known as Ruin Today on Twitter, hit me up saying maybe Brandon Marsh should shave his face like Jordan Romano. They should try anything at this point. Stott leads off with a single. Marsh grounds into the double play. But it doesn't really matter because Kyle Schwarber is going to come up and he's only going to strike out, right? Nope. He's going to hit his 6th home run of the season. I didn't even realize it. Kyle Schwarber is on pace going into today before this home run was hit. He was on pace for 74 home runs on the season. Not bad. But he hits the home run, ties it up at 1-all in the 3rd inning. Phillies, guess what? They get something going again in the 4th inning. They get 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. Alec Bohm steps to the plate. Alec Bohm lines out to second base. Hit the ball in the screws. Here's something that is wild with Alec Bohm. And it's been a repeating theme. A lot of times he's guessing right on his aggression early in the count. Now, in his first at bat of the game, he took a couple of pitches. That was nice to see. But still, no results. I don't like it a lot of times when people are like, this guy that's in a 0 for 20 slump or whatever, at least he's hitting the ball hard. Yeah, well, he's getting the pitches that he's expected to get, and he is missing them. That is also a ginormous problem, especially if you're looking at that guy as if he is going to be a guy to produce runs for you in the middle of the lineup. And if the Phillies are going to have long-term success, they're going to need whoever it is in the middle of the lineup to start producing runs. And Alec Bohm is a guy they rely on usually for that. So it hasn't worked out. But he's guessing right in a lot of these instances where he wants to be aggressive, but he is missing. So you would think the logical thing to do would be like, hey, let me take some pitches up here, Let me see if I can just get a better pitch. Maybe you can think about that the next time he's conditioning his hair. Anyway, Alec Bohm goes up there, ends that 5th inning. Bryson Stott leads off with a walk. Trey Turner comes up with a double. Now, unfortunately, what happened in between those things was there was a fielder's choice situation where Stott gets thrown out at second base. Kyle Schwarber, I believe it was able to take first base on the fielder's choice. So you get 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. Nick Castellanos steps up, 5th inning. Runners in scoring position. Now's your moment, Nick. And unfortunately, yet again, slider, low and away, he swings away at it. No bueno. No bueno. Chase the slider. Phillies get 1-2-3 inning, the bottom of the 5th inning there. Good job by Jesus Luzardo. 6th inning, one more time. JT Realmuto steps up to the plate in the 6th inning, puts a hard hit ground ball right up the middle for a base hit. Alec Bohm steps up just after that. 1-4-3 double play. A bit of a killer. And then the one that we'll really take away from tonight, / this morning, Alec Bohm steps up there with an opportunity to do some more damage for the Phillies in the 11th inning and gets a pitch low in the zone that I guess he figured he could put a good swing on it and at least get the run home, another run home in the 11th inning. Instead, it's just a fly ball out to center field. I know some people might have been screaming at their TV to send Nick Castellanos home on that play, who started out the inning at second base. That would have been dumb. First and foremost, regardless of who the center fielder is, if it's just an average armed center fielder, Nick Castellanos ain't scoring on that ball hit in essentially shallow center field. Was not deep enough to get the run home. Now, throw into you have a pretty incredible center fielder out there in Michael Harris II going after that baseball with a great arm. No way. With Nick Castellanos on third, keep that in mind as well. No way you're scoring on that play. So I don't fault Dusty Wathan at all for making that call and keeping Nick Castellanos at third base. Plus, later on, Bryson Stott worked the walk. Johan Rojas worked the walk to force the run home. That made it a 3-2. Should be a 2-1 Phillies lead at that point. And then Kyle Schwarber stepped up and unfortunately just didn't get enough of a fastball. Maybe a slider. Swung down on it. One-handed swing. Put it to the warning track. Could have been a grand slam. And we'd be probably talking about a much different outcome. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And then right after that, 2 batters later, essentially, in the bottom of the 11th inning, Joe Ross allows the double to Austin Riley, and then he allows the 2-run home run, walk-off style, 413 feet to left field to Marcell Ozuna, hanging a slider. Sliders aren't supposed to be up around the letters. And Marcell Ozuna just tattooed that baseball out of there. So very frustrating loss tonight for the Phillies. Of course, after the sixth inning, we all sat through a 2-hour and 45-minute rain delay. And I do got to give credit to Tom McCarthy, who had one of his best lines ever. After the seventh inning, the top half of the seventh inning, where the Phillies got out of a bit of a jam, if I'm not mistaken, in that seventh inning with Strahm in there. I'm sorry. Carlos Hernandez was pitching. He goes out there in that seventh inning. They get through it, and then after the 2-hour and 45-minute rain delay, Phillies get through the top of the seventh. Bottom of the seventh, and T-Mac says, "Time to stretch." Well played, T-Mac. Well played. When we come back, we'll run through it all. Player of the game, turning point, as well as what you'll be kicking around tomorrow. That's when we return here on Locked On Sports, Locked On Phillies Postcast. SupplyHouse.com. Hope you guys are taking advantage of all SupplyHouse.com has to offer. Get the supplies you need from the site made with the skilled trades and with the skilled trades in mind. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is reliable. It's the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus of the top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And the trade pros looking for the right edge, SupplyHouse.com has it with their free Trade Master program that offers exclusive perks like dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. That's supplyhouse.com/TM, and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order at supplyhouse.com. Let's just get to it.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I'm still going to go Kyle Schwarber with the home run. I could go Jesus Luzardo, but I'm going to go Kyle Schwarber. He's the one that made the magic happen there in the early goings of the game to even make sure for the fact that they would make this a 1-1 ball game and have a 2-hour and 45-minute rain delay. Because if it was 1-0 Braves, they might have just called it. They might have just called it. Or they might have said, oh, we'll pick up this game in July, I think it is, June, the next time the Phillies and Braves face each other in Atlanta. Maybe it is July. I don't know. But I'm going to go with Kyle Schwarber. Hit his 6th home run of the season. You'd love to see that from Schwarbs. Keep the hot bat going there for the Phils. As far as the turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
If Alec Bohm comes up in any of these clutch situations, whether it was the 4th inning with 1st and 2nd occupied with 2 outs, seeing more than one pitch, he doesn't line out, maybe that's a different story. If Alec Bohm doesn't ground into a 1-4-3 double play in the 6th inning, maybe that's a different story. Maybe the Phillies are up at that point. If Nick Castellanos doesn't strike out literally every time he goes up to the plate today, then maybe it's a different story. You can certainly look at extra innings as the turning point of the game because that's pretty definitive. But I'm going to go throughout the lineup today and just how god-awful these guys were, most notably Alec Bohm and Nick Castellanos. Just a very poor showing. And I get the sense that when I'm watching Alec Bohm, I'm watching a guy that's in a hurry. And that just can't be. A little patience, I think, would go a long way for Alec Bohm at this point.
This is what you'll be talking about.
We thought last night was a long game, 3 hours and 7 minutes. This game started at 7:15 and it wrapped just before 1 o'clock. So it was a little bit of a longer night with a 2-hour, 45-minute rain delay in the middle there. And then, of course, extra innings because, of course, it did. So I think that's one thing you'll be kicking around tomorrow. The other thing will be Alec Bohm. And I'm not on the Alec Bohm hate train, by the way. I know there's a lot of people that are on that. Oh, he's a bum and this, that, and the other. I'm not there. I think he's in a really bad slump. I'm going to say that. But there have been people that have been hating on Alec Bohm, I think, excessively since the end of last year. And I'm not one of those people, but I am going to acknowledge what I see. And right now he is in a horrible slump where he just looks plain and simple lost. where he's getting pitches that he can drive, even on those early counts where he's swinging at the first pitch, second pitch, whatever, and he's missing. Now, in the 11th inning, he lunged at a changeup that died in front of home plate, and somehow he was still able to fly out to center field, not deep enough center field, but center field. Better idea for him to take some more pitches at the plate and wait for the pitcher to make a mistake and then jump on that. Because it's not working his way right now, that's for sure. Certainly not working his way. Also, as I mentioned a number of times, 5 strikeouts with Nick Castellanos. Let's get into the chat check and see what you guys are saying about this game today, because it was a bit of a rough one. Faxi, what's going on? Once upon a time, it was getting dark, and all the moms said, let's put a guy at second base to start the inning. Here's my stance, because I know it's been here for a couple years now, but I hate the fact that this is what baseball has evolved to. They've needed to evolve to where we're at now, where there's a guy on second base to start extra innings. Phillies won. That's the handle, Phillies, and the number 1, not that they won. These hitters, I can't. I know, right? Evelyn, what's happening? Well, that was a long wait for nothing. Runners in scoring position again. Ugh, Farzy, are you still up? I'm here. It's almost time for the Farzy show. Thank you. Phillies, so mad. I am pretty mad right now, too. I am pretty mad as well right now as well. Just Patrick, hello. At least Marsh and Bohm got the ball in play to make their outs this time. Hey, you know what? Baby steps. Baby steps. Speaking of which, what did it end up being? I know it was a bad number, but while I have yous, 0 for 10. 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. That's fun. We're all having fun. Castellanos 0 for 2, Kepler 0 for 2, Bohm 0 for 2, Schwarber 0 for 2, but he also had your only run for the longest time. Batman 100, hello. This felt like the July slump offense. Good grief. We had so many chances in this game. I guess it's good news that Romano and Hernandez look good. Joe Ross looking bad. Yeah, no bueno there. Star Wars. What's going on, Star Wars 99? That was bad that Schwarber got robbed. Yeah, just under it a bit. Batman 100. Trey hits 1 homer and starts swinging at everything. Settle down, man. Yeah, that's kind of Trey Turner, though. There was he flailed away at one that was just awful tonight. Was it in extras? Yeah, it was the 3-2 slider in the 10th inning. 3-2 slider, low and very much away, and he swung away at it. Just absolutely. By the way, one other thing really pissed me off tonight. Johan Rojas, and I think the main reason Rob Thompson did this was to put Johan Rojas on second base in extras. I think he had confidence in Strahm getting through the bottom of the ninth, but I think this was in the back of his mind. One, he needed to put up a batter. He put up Rojas. But Johan Rojas is literally sitting on his bum for 5 hours. And he has the stones to go up to the plate and hack at the first pitch he sees. That was, by the way, low and out of the zone. Again, I tell you guys, I'm very specific about when I'm angry about swinging at first pitches or not. When you're sitting on your bum for 5 hours, maybe take a pitch. Maybe go, oh, that's what the guy's got today. Okay. Oh, that's what pitching is. Okay. Not, oh, strike one. Full-blown rage mode, man. Full-blown rage mode. And I know he drew the walk. Whoopity-doo. He drew a walk. He still owes us for game 2 of this series. I'm sorry, game 1 of the series. Game 1 of the series. I don't even know what day it is anymore. It's Friday, by the way, technically. Please put Sosa in. Even Clemens at third. There you go. Let Bohm sit and hopefully get his head back on straight. I wouldn't say crappy when they had ridiculously slow start to the season. Well, I mean tonight, Dustin. I'm talking about tonight, but thank you for the comment. Cassie and Bohm suck. There we go. Evelyn Farzy, there we go. Where was the offense? Not there. Not there. Yes, he did strike out 5 times. There we go. Hello? Simply Kenobi? What's with all the Star Wars people in here? The Phillies didn't have the Force tonight. Not happy I'm going to bed. Well, thanks for joining us. Swing of the dirt. Yep. But here's the deal. Phillies backwoods. No matter how bad, he says, they say, no matter how bad the Braves are, we always struggle with them. I don't care what the records were going into this series. It's the Braves. It's the Phillies. It's going to be a battle. Case in point, an 11-inning affair. Not even counting a rain. I don't care about the rain delay. Both teams had to sit through the rain delay. Drove me bananas. WTF is the reliever must only pitch 1 inning. I agree with that. Jason stayed up to watch this live just to hear some good Ray Romano impersonations. If you didn't hear it earlier, I gave you the one. I shaved. There we go. Don't put the quarter in that machine. Nate, what's going on? So sick of the offense right now. Pathetic at bats. It really is. It really, really is. Wanda, America First Meadows. Hello. Good job staying up to report on this loss. There you go. Who's making excuses? Nobody's do not throw the excuse thing at me, because I am not using excuses here. There is absolutely zero forgiveness. Spencer Schwellenbach. Hey, let me just put this thought in your head for later in life. Spencer Schwellenbach. I don't know what it was, but I looked at him today on the mound. This has nothing to do with anything of substance, but it's just one of those things. And maybe you won't be able to unsee it after I say this, but I was like, he looks like somebody, and it was really bothering me as to who he looked like. And then there was one camera angle, and I went, Jared Goff with a beard. He is Jared Goff with a beard. That's who he is. Okay, back to baseball. Bohm is lacking spirit. See, this is where the body language experts come out, and if that's what you're getting, I get it, but I just see a guy who's pissed off and completely lost. Where are you hiding? I'm convinced Marsh is less of a wasted at-bat than Bohm is now. All right. I see them both wildly lost right now, unfortunately. Wildly lost. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Yes, we will be back tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean later today. How about that? Phillies are going to be back at it for a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals, beginning at 8:15 tomorrow night. Andre Palente, I believe is how you say that, right-handed pitcher there for the Cardinals, the Redbirds, if you will, going up against Aaron 0-2 Nola. You know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen tomorrow. Aaron Nola is going to go 7 scoreless tomorrow. You heard it here first. Aaron Nola, 7 scoreless tomorrow. Gives the bullpen a nice break after the awfulness that was tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. You got Connor Thomas breaking it all down when it comes to your Locked On Daily Phillies podcast. And then you got yours truly bringing you your Locked On Phillies postcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Hit like and subscribe and all that type jazz. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. See you then. Bye.